What's up, guys? So I'm here at good old Hobbytown in the White Room, as it were. Going to be filming a builder's showcase swap with good old Eric and Dion. Now I put the word out to see if people could get here, but it doesn't seem like it's not exactly an optimal time of day on short notice to get people to be an audience, but it is what it is. I've got Dion's already in the light box, which yay for that. That's pretty cool. I like what he did there. My old sheet is really crappy at this point, so that sucks. Well, Justin's here, so that's neat. But waiting on Eric. He's getting off work right about now, so it's actually kind of working out time-wise that they can both be off at the exact same time. Dion's already here, of course. But this should be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to these ZOIDS. So now Eric needs to sneak his in without Dion seeing it, so that'll be fun. All right, guys, so we're here for the second, technically, SHOKY Builder Showcase swap.
Yo.
Technically, there were two at the first one, so I guess technically this is the second one. So we got Dion over here.
Hello.
We got Eric over here.
Yo.
We've seen both of their works on the Builder Showcase before, and Dion actually participated in the first swap. Why did I tell you about doing that on camera? But if you guys aren't really familiar with it, both these guys are challenged to build of the similar quality. Both of them are on the, what I would call, above intermediate class. And they build a kit blindly for the other. And last time it was Gundams, this time it is ZOIDS. And we haven't looked at a whole lot of ZOIDS on this channel yet.
Because we like to be different.
Well, wasn't I the one who brought it up?
Yes.
I think originally I brought it up because you guys were thinking Gundams at first. We're like, let's do something different. Yeah, Master Grade Gundams. That would have been a lot of fun. Now, I've seen both of these things, so I know what's underneath the covers. And Dion's getting itchy over there because he can sort of make out what's under there, but he doesn't exactly know. Whereas Eric has no clue.
You have no idea.
That's what's a lot of fun about this.
That's fucking awesome.
Because me knowing what's under there just makes it so much better.
Smell is leaning against
that's what I was saying. I know what was facing this way originally.
I'm like, can't tell shit from over there, but I get over here and it's like, oh, that's a... Yeah, I'm not going to say.
Yeah, well, everybody's going to know here in a few seconds. Yes. All right, so guys, grip gently on this at the corners of the top because the boxes are terribly built, because I'm the one who did them, and lift straight up on 3. 1, 2, 3. Oh, go ahead and pull the box out just a little bit there, Eric. And we have some really neat ZOIDS here.
I love your paintwork, dude.
I think when he saw the design here, he just, to steal a word, he plotzed a little bit.
That's okay, because I played him in 3 conversations.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah. All right. Initial thoughts, gentlemen.
You go first, Eric.
Starscream. That's
Yeah.
all I gotta say.
Yeah.
My favorite Decepticon.
I knew you would like that. So as soon as he showed me that he was going Starscream colors, I was like, oh, he's gonna freak out. All right. So I'm gonna let you guys have a few moments with your new kit to look over it, and then we'll do individual interviews after that. All right. All right, guys. So first up, we're gonna take a look at Dion's build here, which is clearly a G1 Starscream inspired. What is it called?
Terrace Bomber.
Or Terrace.
Terrace Bomber. Yeah.
Okay. Not to be confused with Terrorist Bomber.
Yeah.
Sounds very similar though. But
oh, Decepticon! Bang!
There we go. Wow. I might have to. Oh, son of a! Turn your things off. Edit that out.
Dun, 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 dun.
Anyways, so it's pretty awesome. Not gonna lie. And as usual with your level of work, it's the paint is clean. The panel lines, well, we talked about that earlier. You had a little bit of trouble with the panel lining.
Yeah, especially in the wings where it definitely shows up more.
Now, we were talking about the wings with the cameras off. One thing you guys will definitely notice with this kit, it has solid wings, whereas the actual Zoid kit does not. It has hollow frame wings.
Correct.
So you actually went so far as to cut out custom pieces for that?
Well, I wanted someplace to put the decals and make it look more, fighter-like.
And Starscream-esque.
Exactly.
Who should have solid wings. Oh, that's a lot of jiggle in the camera. All right. Well, tell us more about what you did, because I don't have any real questions.
Well, the kit came only in 2 colors. The wings were a bright blue, and the rest of it was in a almost white, pale gray. And then the armor sets, like the cannons on the back and the leg armor systems, were all this really, really almost indigo blue. So I went and first I coated everything in primer.
As you should.
And I loved how the primer came out so well that I was like, okay, that'll be the base color. Then I went through, dry brushed aesthetics of the frame, which of course wound up being completely hidden, but hey. One of the tricky parts was the head. I was like, how am I going to get Starscream's head look? And he has his little winglets on the side of his head. So since the neck section had the little winglets on it, I was like, hey, that's going to be a perfect color. And leave the lighter gray underneath where his face is lighter gray. And I did actually dye the canopy. It came in this almost yellowish, bright light orange.
Really?
And I dyed it with food dye and boiling water and a little bit of vinegar, and put in a couple red tablets.
Nice.
So it dropped it to where it matched his eyes.
It's a lot more orange, yeah.
The yellow canopy on the chest, I was debating on putting some sort of like a oval gem. And when I took a look at the panel sections, I was like, no, let's just paint them yellow. It's one of those 6 to 1, half a dozen to the other. But I like how it came out.
No, that's really neat, of course.
And of course the Gatlin systems that are on either side of it simulate the intakes that are on his chest.
Yeah, I like that. And he does have some hidden weaponry.
He does. He has these canisters that open up on his leg armor to reveal the missile systems.
That's so cool. I love that. He's going to rain hell down upon you from his legs.
Pretty much. So,
And does it still have, like, you still put it kind of in his flying mode, or no?
This kit...
I know some mobility was lost.
Yeah, some mobility was lost, mostly in the wings. The neck joints system, where the bottom neck plate actually slides up and forces his head up, still works. You can still rotate and move the feet. The Gallon guns, I would not try twisting. I just don't think the pegs will hold up.
Yeah, they don't look substantial.
Yeah, but I mean, even as a core kit, they looked weak. And there were some complaints about this kit, but, it was better than some of the others I had looked at. And since the Masterpiece Starscream comes with both the cannons and the missiles, and the fact that his back has the missiles, I thought that was a good touch. That way he's got all the armaments. Yeah,
I mean, it's a very, very, it's a very otherworld approximation. And of course, you went so far as to make some custom decals for that.
Yes, those are printed on an inkjet printer on white decal paper. So after the way I sprayed on the decal setter, because I used a straw to hit the eyes pretty hard, it melted some of the ink to give it a gradient look.
Yeah, you can see that.
Whereas the white border stayed pretty much stark. A couple places it leaked through, but
it is what it is.
Yeah, but then you have to trim those so close.
Yeah, you actually had to cut that out. Not to mention, you have to get that outline so you had that border at all.
So. And that was all free cutting with a scalpel. The yellow around his feet, if you look at any of the toys, he always has a dash of yellow.
Oh, yeah.
Between the 2 blocks. I thought about doing the yellow on the toes, but looking at the animation and the...
His feet are usually solid, yeah.
Yeah, they're generally solid. But he has the wings on his ankles.
Yeah.
And he has the little winglets on his backpack, so, and the tail wings. So, I mean, it's all cues to the Masterpiece model.
Yeah. I mean, as close as you can get that is a dinosaur robot to something that was a jet robot. It's pretty cool. And we can't really open it to show it, but well, you can, because it's yours. I'm not about to try.
See, that's about as far as it opens. Again, it's part of once you got the paint on there.
Yeah,
it really limits the joints. They didn't engineer it to be painted.
But I have pictures that we can put up there of the pilot. Oh, it's actually painted up.
Yeah, I custom painted the pilot
to look like
Starscream.
So I mean, it's pretty awesome. I can't frame it worth a damn, but there we go. But
and of course, to simulate his arms, I've got the blue blocks down on the ends here, so it would give the appearance that he has his arms.
Yeah, we talked about that off camera, that you had considered throwing on some some HG Gym arms.
1/220th scale GM arms.
Oh, okay.
I had some laying around.
Smaller ones, okay.
Yeah, but the only mounting point would have made it look too low and spindly.
Like right here-ish.
Actually, I was thinking on this part.
Oh, you were going to go up here?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that would make sense. No, that would have looked okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if they were about that big, no.
No, and that's the problem. Is I wanted the arms. If I was going to do arms, these were going to be mounted on the arms.
Yeah. I mean, this totally works. I mean, and I'm sure Eric is hating it so much. What do you love about it so far? Since you've only had a little bit of time to play with it and look at it.
I mean, like he said, is a tribute to a masterpiece, Starscream G1 Starscream that I used to have a long time ago. Sadly, it got stolen from me when I moved.
Oh man!
And you know, I'm grateful for it. It's great.
I tried 4 different methods of messing with styrene sheet and found a couple old resin pieces from some Viking and medieval characters and figures that I had. I tried to make the crown, and I could not get the crown right, let alone fit it. And I was like, oh, I want to do the crown.
Hey, do it. You can always add it later.
I could. It would just take me a week of sculpting.
It would almost more work like if it didn't look like a crown sitting on top of his head, but an extension of the dino head coming back that's painted gold.
Hey, that's an idea. I should have thought of that.
Yeah, you should have.
Yeah, thank you for that. Now that's too late.
But did you consult me at all?
Yes, I did.
Not in that case, you didn't.
I was sending you pictures every time I did something.
Did you even say that you wanted to throw a crown on it, or else I would have said
No, I didn't.
Exactly, so no complaints here.
I wanted the crown to be a surprise for everybody. So
actually, as an extra pod that attaches to the back.
That would have been cool.
Yeah, too bad it'll never happen now.
You never know.
Yeah, too many other projects though. All right, so I think that's pretty much it for this half of the reviews here. So we can go take a look at Eric's awesome Liger that he did. That is now yours.
If I could say one thing,
you got time for one more thing.
And Eric and I were talking one day about various cartoons and animations and what characters really made an impact on us. And we were talking about Starscream, which Starscream is one of my most favorite characters of all time. And we talked about Voltron, we talked about Thundercats, we talked about He-Man, we talked about modern anime, classic anime, and stuff like that. Yeah, and he kept coming back to Starscream, and I was like, that is exactly what I'm doing.
Nice. Awesome. So, I mean, yeah, it's a great inspired piece. Got a little cat here to go with it. Excellent. All right, so let's go take a look at Eric's Liger. All right, guys, so we're going to take a look at Eric's amazing yellow Liger here. And which kit exactly is it?
It's the JAEGER.
Liger JAEGER.
Liger JAEGER.
Okay, so that means the Hunter version. And is this the high-speed version, which was sort of your inspiration as well?
Yeah, definitely. It was I asked a friend who's really knowledgeable about the whole ZOID things, and she told me it was like the subsonic fastest version of the Liger. And instantly I went with a color scheme of like Flash, but I wanted to do it different because I love the villains, and Zoom or Reverse Flash is one of my favorite villains of all time.
And this is definitely a closer to a Neobard Thawne, I would think, than a Professor Zoom.
Yeah, definitely.
But it looks pretty awesome. And just for such a drastic contrast, this thing was blue, right?
Extremely blue.
So this thing was super blue to begin with. So that'll let you know, if you're not familiar with ZOIDS, that's how much change it went through.
It went from
Because it was blue and white, right?
blue and white. All
Yeah.
the red. You
So the
see
red was white and all the
white.
yellow was blue.
Yeah, it was a lighter shade of blue/white. Obviously, that's all changed. The yellow was extremely like deep navy blue. Yeah, that was all changed as well.
But yeah, no, this thing is different. One, the Liger kits are just mean. It's just a big deadly kitty. I mean, look at that. I mean, I was making jokes before we started, but it definitely looks like some kind of mechanical Pokemon. It does. I mean, and it's just, and in some ways, because I'm looking at the feet down here,
Yeah.
it really reminds me of the Hexa
Yeah, definitely.
the Ray Blade, which is clearly along the lines of.
If you actually
something.
take off the legs, everything else, and just leave the core body, it
Yeah.
looks like the frame for the Hex gear.
Oh, I
Almost
bet.
Exactly.
Except minus the Hexa joint system. But, I mean, it's got the Zoid joints, or whatever they're called. And it's just awesome. Of course, we've seen your paint schemes before. We've looked at some of your really, really cool paint color changes. And you love extreme color changes.
Yeah, I definitely do. I mainly wanted to go somewhere different from the black, the red, the gold that I usually do. And
So in this case, you just went white, yellow, and gold. No, I'm just kidding. But
well,
no,
I mean,
yeah.
the whole bronze you can see inside.
Yeah, so I was trying to turn it because obviously I can't move. Guys, I can't move the camera. So, well, hello, kitty.
Yeah, look.
He's ready. I know, but I still have to get close to it. Yes, you bring in your turntable or your Lazy Susan, whatever you want to call it.
Whatever you want to call it, but it works.
How about in front of the camera again?
Oh, you
Framing, man, framing. There we go.
You're the cameraman.
I am the cameraman, sort of. But yeah, no, the bronze color, I'm digging that, or copper, whatever it technically is.
I think it's copper.
Yeah, it's copper.
To me, it's copper.
Oh yeah, and you were telling Dion before he left, because he just explicitly told us yellow is his favorite thing on like hot rods and stuff. And this is definitely a hot rod Zoid if we're going there.
Yeah.
And you like, I think blue is mine, but just saying it's a Tamiya flat yellow, which
Definitely
is crazy.
to me a flat yellow. It was primed on gray, 3 coats of yellow, and that's a little bit what I got.
Yeah, and the only places I see where you might have had some issues, and I'm guessing it came up after panel lining, is like right through here where you've got a little bit of fade.
Yeah, definitely. The panel line was a nightmare on this thing, especially because of the yellow.
They're not super deep panel lines from what I can
they're
see,
not.
so that makes it even harder to really get into those channels.
So at first I was using the Tamiya panel line accent,
Mm-hmm.
the whole brush thing, and it was way too much.
Yeah.
So I ended up dipping a toothpick in it,
Yes.
and using that as the panel line.
Yep.
And that took forever.
It does look really freaking cool. And it does still retain most of its posability and its movement.
All the legs move.
I'm not going to.
Yeah.
I mean, I like Zoids and I like the way they function. I'm just not going to mess with somebody else's. Dion wants to play with it, he can totally do that.
Yeah, that's all his issue.
And the wings and stuff can all.
They move. They definitely move.
I just think because I've never gotten to see this kit up close. Does this fold down?
Yes, it's
Collapse.
just a little finicky.
Always push gently. Let there be a lesson, kids. Oh, no, you guys collapse carefully. Okay, well, it can go up fine. It doesn't want to collapse. There we go. It's all good. We'll just play with it that way. We'll just make it go up even
all
more.
these little red parts that you see on the part of the armor, where they're supposed to come out,
Yeah.
and you can like move it up and down a little bit. I wouldn't do it because some of it's really fragile, and after painting, it's a nightmare.
And you complained almost constantly about the plastic of a Kotobukiya kit.
Since it's a lot different from what I'm used to gunpla wise, it was a nightmare at the beginning.
The blades on the legs make it very hard to handle.
Yes.
So I try to very carefully move my hands around. Yeah, you definitely had panel line issues right through here.
Yeah.
That just went crazy on you. It's my job to sort of point out the flaws, not the good stuff. But it's so cool. I mean, like, they got intake vents everywhere. And I'm sure you did a decent amount of work underneath and then then had covered everything. Like,
yeah, everything is, every single part of this kit is painted. Yeah. Either from, you know, the gunmetal, the copper, the white, the black, or in the gray.
I'm not moving those.
The only thing that was left original is the teeth.
the kind of pearlescent metallic teeth there.
Because I didn't know what color paint teeth. I was like, if I go yellow, it's gonna look like everything else.
Silver.
White.
Yeah, silver would have been the only way to go. But I like that. And the Zoid core is back in there.
It's actually right down here.
Yeah, right in
Well,
there.
like I say, it's a 9.
Not even gonna try. It's just because we don't look at Zoids hardly ever on this channel, and it's usually with Dion. Oh yeah, I forgot these actually swing out. Or they're supposed to. But then this thingy in the middle is, well, it's supposed to be attached. It's actually come detached right there.
It's extremely finicky.
Yeah, we're not going to play with it a lot much more than this, but this thing is really freaking sick, dude. Like, and I gave you guys originally a month.
Yeah.
And, of course, we got way longer than that. We got nearly 2 months out of it. The fact that Dion threw his together in roughly 3.5 weeks.
3.5 weeks, yeah.
And you were mostly done. You know, you were at priming stage and beginning paint stages whenever we paused because Dion had shipping problems. But I know he's definitely excited about this. Of course, he's outside smoking right now, so we can't really ask him because every time we do a swap with Dion, he ends up smoking in the middle and it would take forever to get back. I like the tail thruster thingy. I guess he probably uses that to change directions at high speed, if I had to guess.
Stabilizer, I guess.
It's like a stabilizer.
It
looks like a spaceship in and of itself. That's pretty neat. Actually, I need a motorized turntable. That way I can become a real Gundam YouTuber. I like the bronze back here on the back of the legs for the like hoses or whatever they should be. Weird that the front legs don't have them.
Yeah, I know.
Well, I guess it's got these. Now, is that same softish, rubbery kind of stuff, or is that actually molded plastic?
That's molded plastic.
Really? Okay. Because I was asking Dion the same thing on his Geno Breaker. So you said you had added some custom water slides and stuff to this guy as well, right?
Yeah, definitely. All the water slides come from like different kits, especially the what is it, Seed?
Yeah, you said it was the Providence MG Special Edition.
MG Special Edition that came with all decals for the 2.0, Strike Freedom, the Blitz, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So, I mean, you can see a little bit of everything, and yet it fits just fine, especially the red decals.
Red decals on the yellow is perfect.
Yeah.
And I love that you were really pointing out the left side stickers, the right side stickers.
Yeah.
And just before I was rolling, as I was pulling the camera out, you're like, by the way, right up here on the wing, it says no step.
I added on several parts. I mainly wanted to be like, okay, if a mechanic works on this, they know what side is what.
The irony being that you could totally step on that wing.
Yeah.
But yeah, the left and right markings are hilarious in my mind. Like, don't screw up and put the wrong leg on the wrong side situation. Definitely. And we've talked about this before with your panel lining issues. I mean, it's not you. It's just what you're working with. How sometimes it ends up fading into some just nice weathering instead of just a big glob in some cases. Unlike these spots right under here that just you couldn't get away from, but it just gathered.
Oh yeah,
it happens. And like I said, it's not me knocking you. It's just that's sort of just how the price of working with the materials as they are. And as we discussed, the panel lines are incredibly shallow, which makes it very hard, even with the Tamiya panel liner, which I don't know why I didn't do this flyover in the first place. This is a much better way to do this.
Like I said, with the whole panel lining, I had to go in with toothpick. I couldn't do the brush. The brush would just smear all over.
Stay. Let's see if I can tilt the head a little. It's about as good as it'll go, but I wanted to show off the Zoid core underneath, or at least what I could see of it. I mean, it's a really, really badass kit. Now I really want to get one. Like you got, and yeah, the yellow lion aspects of it are not lost on me. Yeah. As Dion was discussing the Voltron inspiration, stuff like that. Were you trying not to go over the fact that you picked the yellow thingy?
Yeah.
Now it does suck that at least some of the mobility suck because it'd be great to get the wings totally expanded. But man, that is a mean looking kit. Look at.
And like I said, everything else, all the decals, they're.
The only thing we need for this is the lightning effects to go out of it, like the flash.
I tried. I was actually melting and putting together pieces of clear blue.
Yeah. Dude, just buy the Tamashi lightning effects.
I can't find them anywhere.
Not even online?
Not even online.
In 2 months?
I didn't think about it that long.
In 2. You know who has them?
Ooh.
Barnes & Noble.
I might go look at it.
I'm fairly certain they had them when I was down there.
And I thought about it because I want to do some right on the face, right with the eyes, and just have it come out.
Well, even if he was coming up, because he is a reverse flash.
Yeah.
Well, actually, technically, his should be red because he's a reverse flash, but they don't make red. But yeah, he definitely needs some lightning coming out of him. I think that would be really. That would totally complete it for the effect.
About it. Like I looked everywhere. I went to like 5 different comic book shops. I know sell Gundam and.
That's weird. I could have sworn that somebody would have had it.
What was it? Bedrock, Third Planet, DNA.
Oh wait, no, maybe it was. It might have been ThinkGeek who had it. I think it was ThinkGeek. All right, guys, so we're almost out of time on this one. So we're going to go ahead and cut this. This thing, if it didn't have like the shiny red and you've really dirtied it up, it could look like a piece of equipment.
Yeah.
That would be another cool way to go.
Yeah.
Maybe the Panzer would be a fun one to do that, like JCB color scheme. But all right, guys, we'll catch you back here in a second. What do you think about your new kitty there, Dion?
Oh, I love it. I absolutely love it.
Yeah, I now want to build one of those.
This is going to get a very special place on my desk.
This is one reason why I like.
After I build that fucking truck.
Yeah. But see, this is one reason I like the swap idea. Because you get to look at something awesome that somebody else made for you.
Well, like I was telling the guys out there,
you haven't even got to
like
play with yours.
Flash.
Yeah.
For some reason, I just really dig the name Eobard Thawne.
That's what I said. That's Eobard Thawne. That's not Zoom.
Yeah.
So even looking at it, I knew that's an Eobard Thawne version. Which actually, given the new Flash War that's starting on the comics, it totally works. But yeah, and I know you like your little Starscream.
Dude, I love it. Like I said, I'm Decepticon fan all the way, and Starscream been my favorite since childhood.
All right, guys. So it occurred to me that when I went to go edit this video, we didn't do a proper outro for this because the guys and of course myself were so excited to receive their new kits, and honestly we didn't stop looking at them and or talking about them for another couple hours. So of course, thanks to Dion and Erick for participating in this. It was a lot of fun as usual. It was fraught with issues, with shipping, with scheduling. We had a lot of hard problems to get this to happen the way it did, but in the end it came out really, really awesome for both of these builders. You guys know how I do. If you guys are in the Houston or even Texas area for the most part, and you would actually like to participate and actually do one of these showcase swaps, and you're willing to actually travel to make it happen, assuming you're not in Houston, by all means, hit me up. Of course, if you know me already from the Houston or Texas Gundam Club, you already know it's been put out there. There is another one that is the builders are both essentially done with their kits. Once again, it was a scheduling problem. There was a whole lot of things, and that one should be coming up fairly soon. We're trying to determine a date where we can all get together, and right now it's becoming a problem. But I appreciate you guys watching. I hope you like this video, and if you do, make sure you give it a thumbs up, and if you're not subscribed, please do, and hit that little dumb bell thingy, whichever, this side over here. Hit that bell for notification anytime I put up a new video, and come back every day to see whatever it is I'm posting. I do fun, nerdy stuff. I like toys. I like all kinds of fun things along with the Gundam kits and stuff like that, which I guess is the main draw of my channel. So come back and do that. Of course, I want to thank my patrons as always, John, Andy, Steve, Kolby, and TheKrowSama. You guys are great for your support. If you're interested in becoming part of the Patreon family, becoming a patroneer, it'll be right here on the screen. Go check that out. Every little bit helps, and right now I kind of need as much help with supporting the channel as I can. Another way you can do that, but you don't have to like have a commitment or anything like that, buy a cool SHOKY shirt. I'll have a lot more of them right here on the screen. And of course the Lupus for Lupus store, even though the contest is over at this point. Congrats to the winners. The store will remain open. I'll have to do a new one and tie it to a different bank account because I have to separate that money now. I don't want all that happening. And I really appreciate all the artists and everybody who helped out in that aspect. But that will still be rolling. You can still access that if you want to donate to the charity. But the shirts, these shirts at least, go to help the channel. And I need as much help and assistance as I can get with that, and plus you can get a cool shirt or two. But I'll catch you guys on the next... That light is annoying. But I'll catch you guys on the next review. And remember, as always, to keep on nerding, to keep on building, and let's keep building this community of people together.